What's going on, guys? So today we're going to be checking out 11 weird things I had never seen before coming in Australia. And this is a 2024 updated video. So yeah, I've actually reacted to some similar sort of videos before, but let's see what we got on this one, guys. If you've got anything to say or add to these videos, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, let's see what we got here, guys.
In this video, we're going to talk about the weirdest things I found in Australia that I had never seen before. Let's get started.
Hey, that's going to be fun.
The first thing is separate toilets and no bidets. In Australia, many houses are usually designed with the toilets separate from the main bathroom. So basically you have a little room just for the toilet and then a bathroom where you wash your hands, you have the mirror, the shower, and based on my
Okay, I mean, to be honest, that is more efficient, to be honest. Like, if someone wants to use a toilet and someone wants to have a shower at the same time, they can actually do that, right?
research, historically, this was done for practical reasons, to allow one person to use the toilet while another uses the bathroom.
Exactly what I said.
And another reason, of course, is hygiene and privacy. And again, this is something super surprising because in my country, I'm originally from Buenos Aires, Argentina.
And another thing I want to add on that, I'd say you sit on the toilet for a poo, bro. You sit on the toilet for a poo, and then it stinks. And then you have to have a shower. And then you smell it. Ah, nah, bro. Nah, okay. I've gone too far. Let's keep it going.
Argentina. And in my country, separate toilets don't exist. So when I first came here, especially I was living in a share house. And yeah, I found it very interesting, but at the same time, again, very practical. Especially if you're living in a house with a lot of people, perhaps a big family with children. You don't have to wait for your turn to use the toilet. You just can go and then another person can have a shower in the separate bathroom. And another thing in relation to this, in relation to bathrooms and toilets, and this is something that I had first seen in the US. And then when I came to Australia again, it surprised me because it's not usual here either. It's bidets, or we call them bidets. Yeah, that was another huge difference. In my country, Argentina, bidets are basically an essential part of the bathroom. And in many European countries, this is the case as well. But yeah, in Australia, they don't exist. And I remember I was so surprised that I told my friends about it. And they were like, oh, that's disgusting. How come they don't have bidets? Then I told my Aussie friends about the bidets. And they find disgusting the fact that we have bidets as well. So it's a very interesting cultural difference. And yeah, I don't know, it's something that caught my attention.
Okay, or either bidets is for, for you to sit on and then clean yourself after number 2 on the toilet. I'm not too sure. Honestly, I'm not too sure.
The second thing that I found very weird is Vegemite. Aussies love their Vegemite, and again, this is one of the weirdest things that I've come across. And if you don't know what it is, this is a spread that is made of brewer's yeast extract, a byproduct of beer manufacturing, that you can put on a piece of toast, crackers, sandwiches. And I remember the first time that I tried Vegemite. It wasn't actually here in Australia, but it was 1 year before coming here. I was studying English with an Aussie teacher, and I remember that he brought Vegemite for me to try. And at the beginning, when I looked at it, I hadn't tried it yet.
When you put Vegemite, you put a little tiny bit. You don't put too much, or else it's too sweet. Like, it's so rich of taste. So you just need a tiny bit.
I thought it was yummy because it reminded me of chocolate, right? Like if you see the color of Vegemite, it looks like Nutella. And then, of course, I gave it a try. He put it on a piece of toast. Basically, you have just to put a bit of butter, then a bit of Vegemite. And I tried it, and yeah, my face, it was basically lemon face. It was the weirdest thing that I had ever tried in my life. Now I like it. I don't eat it every day, but I do live with my Aussie partner, and Vegemite is an essential item in the house, in the fridge. And to give you an idea, it basically tastes very salty, kind of bitter as well. And an interesting fact as well is that Vegemite apparently was born in the 1920s in Melbourne, and it was an attempt to replicate the British Marmite, which I haven't tried. Please don't troll me, because when I read this interesting fact on my partner,
okay, to be honest, I've had Marmite, not Vegemite, but I think it's the same thing, so.
He got very offended. So please don't blame it on me. This is on the internet. I don't know whether it is true or not. You can, leave a comment below and tell me what you think. Another thing that caught my attention when I first came to Australia is the fact that alcohol is sold separately. So you won't find alcohol in supermarkets. I remember the first time that I went to a supermarket to get a bottle of wine, and I spent at least 30 minutes going around just looking for the alcohol section, right? And couldn't find it, and until I asked, and of course I realized that there was a bottle shop outside. Apparently this is a measure that they've taken to limit excessive alcohol drinking. As I've said in other videos, Australia is known for having a strong drinking culture, and that's why there are high taxes on alcohol, and also it seems that that's the reason why they have separate bottle shops. Whereas in my country, in Argentina, as well as in many European countries, when you go to the supermarket, you'll always find the alcohol section right in there. We don't have separate bottle shops, so that's an interesting difference, and something that now I've gotten used to it, but yeah, it's still a bit I don't know, weird. Another thing that caught my attention when I first came to Australia is the fact that Australians place stuff that they don't want on the street outside their home. And this practice is called hard rubbish collection. And most of these items are usually pieces of furniture or appliances that people put outside their homes for other people to come and pick them up, or for a truck to pick it up. So it's very interesting. And to be honest, many of these items are usually in really good shape. I know many people who basically make a living out of that. They go and collect, I don't know, a couch that perhaps is in good condition or just a bit dirty. They clean it up or they refurbish it, and then they sell it on Facebook Marketplace, and they made a lot of money. So yeah, perhaps it's a good business idea if you want to explore that. Another thing that I found very surprising when I first came to Australia is the fact that there are very, very hefty fines for putting your feet on public transport seats. And these fines actually go up to 288 Australian dollars. It's insane. And of course, it makes sense, right? I don't think anywhere in the world it's polite or respectful to put your feet on the seat, right? On the public transport seat where other people are going to sit. It's basic good manners. But I had never seen that they actually fine you for that. And such, again, hefty fines. So yeah, that's something that caught my attention. Housewarming parties. Now, I remember the first time that I was invited to a gathering here in Australia, and that was actually a housewarming party. And I remember when I got that invitation, I was a bit confused because I was like, what is a housewarming party? I had to Google it, right? And I'm sure that housewarming parties are very normal in many countries, but at least not in mine. So again, for me, this was weird. And if you don't know what a housewarming party is, let me explain very quickly. This is basically a tradition where you invite your friends to come see your new home. Basically, when you move to a new house, you have a gathering with drinks, finger food, etc., and you show your friends your new place. That's basically it. I feel that it's an excuse to just have a gathering and drink with your mates, and that's perfectly fine. I actually love housewarming parties, so much so that in my previous place,
like a friend bought a house, maybe you want to celebrate with them, you know, like congratulate them, you know, just have fun in the new house.
2019, before the pandemic, I hosted a onesie housewarming party. We were 35 adults, all wearing onesies and having snacks, chatting, playing games. It was super fun, and since then I love housewarming parties.
In less than 25.
So yeah, it was a pleasant surprise. Okay, let's talk about the healthcare system and doctors in Australia, because this is something that as well, it really surprised me when I first came here. To be honest, I was a bit confused. Now, if you want to know about the healthcare system in Australia, I have a whole dedicated video about it.
Okay, if you want me to check out that video, guys, let me know in the comments and I'll see what I can do.
I think it's going to make your life easier. Now, in my country, in Argentina, and I know many European countries are exactly the same, when you have an ailment, when you're feeling sick, perhaps you have a tummy issue, you usually go to the specialist directly. You go to the gastroenterologist, right? That's the case in my country. Whereas here in Australia, your first point of contact is your GP, your general practitioner. Basically, a doctor that does general practice, and they're not a specialist, but they do everything. It's general medicine. And then perhaps they're going to give you a prescription, refer you for x-rays, etc. Now, if your tummy ache gets worse over time and the issue doesn't get resolved, then your GP is going to refer you to a specialist. But your first point of contact here in Australia is a GP. Another example, if you have to go to the gynecologist and have a pap smear, here in Australia, again, you go to your GP first. Whereas in my country, you usually go to the gynecologist first, and you're going to have your own gynecologist, your specialist, and you have all the tests. The gynecologist does everything for you. Whereas here in Australia, you are going to go to the GP or a nurse, perhaps, and they're going to do that for you. Something interesting. Again, a huge difference. Again, another thing that really surprised me when I first came to Australia was Australian football, or footy, or Aussie rules,
AFL,
or
right?
It has so many names. AFL. Anyway, I remember the first time I was here, I got my apartment.
We have a whole video on AFL on the channel, guys. So check it out.
I turned the TV on and there was a footy match going on. For me, it was a big surprise. And to be honest, at the time, I hadn't even heard about footy. Yeah, it was a mix of rugby and soccer, but I wasn't really sure what was going on.
Well,
it's basically neither. It's just a unique sport, very unique, again, to Australia. And Aussies love it, especially here in Melbourne. Most of my Australian colleagues as well, they're super fans of Collingwood, Richmond, Essendon. It's very interesting. I've been to 2 footy matches. What I really liked is the family environment. It's very family-oriented. Rivals can sit next to each other. There's no aggression. Well, at least in my opinion, when I compare it to the Argentinian team or when you compare it to England, they're much more, it's another kind of passion if you want. But here in Australia, it's more family oriented, and that's something that, I really appreciate and I do like. Another thing that surprised me about Australia is the fact that it's compulsory for school kids to always wear sun protective hats outside. Of course, the reason for this is that Australia has some of the highest UV levels in the world. So it's a measure, again, that for me was surprising because when I was in school, I didn't have to wear a hat. It wasn't compulsory, but at the same time, it makes complete sense. So it's actually really, really good. And another thing in relation to the Australian school dress code, if you want, is the fact that school kids have to carry very big bags. So you see the little 7-year-old carrying a bag that it's almost bigger than them. I don't know, it's weird. In my uneducated opinion, and I'm not a health professional, I'm not a chiropractor, so I'm not sure, but in my opinion, carrying a lot of weight at that age probably poses some kind of risk for the kids' posture.
That is true,
I'm not sure. You can leave a comment if you know more about this. Growing up, in my case, all kids have the wheelie bags. We basically used that. So yeah, that was another thing that I found weird, surprising. I don't know if it's good or bad, but it's interesting, I guess. Okay, another thing that I think it's weird, surprising, is the unique wildlife here in Australia. Of course, before coming here, you always hear about the kangaroos and the koalas, and these are very unique animals indeed. I don't think there are animals like these marsupials anywhere else in the world, but something that not many people know, and I include myself when I first came here, is that there are many more unique animals beyond the kangaroo and the koala. There are wallabies, quokkas, wombats. So every time I go hiking and every time I come across one of these animals, I find it very fascinating. It kind of tells you about the unique geography and diversity in Australia. I know that the quokkas are unique, for example, to Western Australia. So yeah, it's very interesting. And to be honest, even when I see a kangaroo or a wallaby, I still get very excited, even again, after so many years of living here. Yeah, it's fascinating and it's very, very unique. Another thing that really surprised me about Australia, and
I would agree with that. For me as well, if I visit Australia and see all those animals, I would feel surprised, like excited, because I've never actually experienced something like that before. So
it shouldn't have, considering how important the beach lifestyle is for this country, is that they have a beach safety education program called NEPERS. This is basically a program where kids as young as 5 years old learn about beach safety and rescue techniques. So if you're at the beach at any coastal town in Australia, usually in the morning during weekends, you are probably going to come across all these kids being trained for the NEPERS program, basically being trained on life-saving techniques, and beach safety, etc. So yeah, it's something that I would have loved to be able to have when growing up. I find it amazing, and of course, again, this reflects the importance of knowing how to swim here in Australia. That's super important. That's the one skill
that beaches are great in Australia, right?
You do need to learn if you're seeking that beach lifestyle, I guess. So those are the things that I find interesting, surprising, weird about Australia as a migrant. And yeah, let me know what's your opinion about them. If you have any surprising things that you've seen here, what do you think about these cultural differences? And if you want to watch similar videos about life in Australia, what it is like to live here, watch these videos here and here.
So yeah, that was actually a pretty good video. I was surprised by it. Let me know what you think about it, guys, in the comments below. And if you want me to check out more of her videos, I will subscribe to her just to keep updated on her videos. If anything fun pops up, I'll check it out. But yeah, guys, let me know everything. If you want to add something in the comments below, let me know your thoughts. Do not forget as well to like the video, guys, subscribe to the channel, and we'll be seeing you on the next one. Thanks for watching, guys, and peace out.